Having looked at what a CV is and the types of CV, as well as the rules governing the writings of the CV in our last training, we are now going to pick a sample CV as well as a sample cover letter and show how they should be tailored professionally. Now, if you look at the screen, we see a sample CV that has been professionally tailored, and this was actually submitted for a job position. Now we are going to examine this sample CV, and this is just a part of it, to see how a CV should be written. We look at errors, we look at we just dissect this particular CV. So you now have a very good understanding on how you should be packaging your CV from henceforth. Now, if you look at the screen, remember all the various rules we treated in the previous lesson, and we are going to be showcasing some of them here. You look at the screen, this is a CV, and you see the title, just as we learned last. The CV should carry a title, but not curriculum vitae. It should come with your name. Now, it starts with your surname. Then followed by a comma. Then you now write your other name. You have your middle name, you have your first name. Now, if your name, let's say it were not Ahimia Jackson James, your name is just Ahimia Jackson, you still start with your surname before you write your first name. Now, after you have titled your CV the right way, because this is the format of the CV. After you have titled it the right way, you now come towards your address. Now, you don't have to start here. You now put in name, colon, before you write your name, address, phone, email. It is not necessary. Recruiting officers, they know that this is your name, this is your address, this is your contacts, email, and that this is your contact, this is your phone number, and that this is your email address. No need specifying it for them again. Noted. So you now come down to your address. Now, your address should be where you are staying at the moment, where a firm can easily locate you, where you are living, because most firms, they are going to send someone, especially for very sensitive jobs, they are going to send a representative to the address you give to them to be sure that you are actually living there. Now, if they visit that particular place, the address you have given to them, and they now find out that you are no longer living there, maybe you lived there like 2 years ago, automatically you have lost that particular placement, because it's showing that you are not sincere. So make sure that the address you are putting there is where you are living presently, where they can easily locate you. Now, an example of this is when you open an account in the bank. It has happened to me. They will send an official to go and check up the address that you put while filling the form in the bank, and the representative will come to the house. They will ask questions about you. They want to be sure that you are real, that you are not a fraud, that you are not a scam. So they are going to check out the address. So make sure you put the address where you are living there. Please, it should be a locatable address, not a PO box, not a PNB. Here we have plot 4, Willie Estate, Warri, Delta State. All your punctuation mark should be well placed. Then after that, you now come down to your phone number. Make sure that you are handling at a number that is active, and the number should be your number, not the number of your girlfriend or boyfriend or your fiancé. Because if a recruiting officer calls the line, you are male, because it's there on your CV, sex male, you are male, and they now call that particular number and a female picks continually, even that is it, they are not going to call you back. So make sure that you are the one answering your call. You know you have a jealous boyfriend or a jealous girlfriend that is always picking up your calls. Talk to your girlfriend, explain to the person, explain to the fiancé that this is what you learn from a training. Now, if that is understood, you now come down to your email address. Now, your email address, the kind of email address you use, can either mar or make your CV. Now, what do I mean? There are two kinds of email addresses in the corporate world. We call the unprofessional one junk email addresses. Then the other one, the one you should be using, the professional email address. So the two type of email, the junk email address and the professional email address. Which one should you be using? You should only be using the professional email address. Now let me cite examples of junk email address. Now email addresses like sweetestbabe@hotmail.com, rocketman@hotmail.com, pastor or holy man @gmail.com, happy guy on campus @rocketme.com. All those email addresses are known as junk email addresses, because the email addresses tells a lot about your personality. Take for instance a lady that uses the email address like happybabeoncampus@gmail.com. The moment a recruiting officer picks up the email address, it looks at your CV and scans through your CV and sees your email address, happybabeoncampus@gmail or hotmail.com. You have told the recruiting officer about your personality, that most likely you are a slay queen. The happy babe on campus, you are a slay queen, and maybe a rose gate. So because when you are opening an email address, it is the way you are feeling at the moment that you use to name your email address. So you don't give junk email addresses. You can use junk email addresses for any other thing, but when it comes to your career, professional documents like the CV, the cover letter, or the thank you, the follow-up letters, you do not use junk email addresses. You use professional ones. Now, what are professional email address? Like the one you are seeing on the screen, the person's name is Akimie Jackson James, and he used the email jacksonjames@hotmail. It could be at Gmail, it could be at rocketmail, but it should bear your name. It could also have been Jackson James 2000 or 2020 @hotmail.com. Just make sure that you have your name in there, not something like sweetest or hottest. So that is how you package your CV relating to the email address. If that is noted, you now come down to the next part, talking about the career objective. The career objective is just a brief statement of what you can offer to the company. Take for instance this one. It states it plainly and simply and directly to work in a challenging environment that aims at obtaining the best from its employees and consequently recognizes and rewards labor. Now, the accompanying ebook to this video package has a lot of has some CVs in there, and the skeleton, the format, everything, how you should write and package your CV. But here in the video tutorial, we are just going to be using one CV to analyze and scrutinize how you should be packaging a professional CV. Now, after that, you now come down to your personal biodata. The personal biodata tells about your person, right from when you were born. Now this part is very, very, very important as well. Now for date of birth, put date of birth, you see it a colon there, then you now have like 10 April 1980. 10 April, 1980. Please, not 10th April. The moment you have like TH on top of it, or if it were like 10, you have arrow D on top of it, it becomes a position. It is no longer a date. Now, also regarding the date of birth, some CVs, some job adverts will come with a lot of age restrictions. Some will tell you that you should be above 35 years before you can apply for the opportunity. Some will say you should be below 30 years to apply for such positions. Now, when you see restrictions like this, don't allow it to scare you. A lot of persons have lost opportunity because of these age restrictions. Now, what you do is that still apply for the particular opportunity. Make sure that your CV is well packaged. Now, when your CV lands on the desk of the recruiting officers and he picks it up, what is he going to see? Instead of this date of birth where you have like 10 April 1980, you just leave this blank. Don't write anything here. Just put date of birth, leave this place blank. Now, the recruiting officer is still going to go through your CV. Now, if everything is well packaged and is impressed with the CV, they are going to call you for an interview. Now, this pattern, this strategy is called keeping your employers of labor in suspense. You have kept them in suspense. You have enthralled them with your CV because it's well packaged, your skills, your functions, your experiences. They all want this, but they are not sure of your age. So they'll still invite you for the interview. You go for the interview, do everything you are going to learn here, smash the interview. This you will discover that despite the age restriction, they are still going to employ your services. This is very, very, very important. Now, when you have sex, please note, don't behave like some graduates and undergraduates that instead of male or female here, they will now put 2 times a day, once a year, or virgin. They are not interested in how many times you have sex in a month or in a year. They just want your gender. Sex should be male, not male/female. Even if you are transgender, don't put male or female there. Put the one initially you came with. So here you just put in male or you just put in female. The marital status, you put single. If you are married, you put in married here. But some job opportunities, they will only be looking for persons that are single. I don't want to mention the name of any firm here. So some will be looking for those that are married. Now, if there is a marital restriction, status restriction as well, just as you did with that of the date of birth, keep here blank. Go in there, go for the interview and defend the position. The hometown, that's like for this person, Ekboma, the state, Edo State, nationality, Nigerian. Then you now come down, after that you now come down to the educational details. Start with the most recent. You start with the most recent. We are looking at Nnamdi Azikiwe University Master's Degree in International Relations. This is the most recent one. The one that came before is so and so. Now, this is your first degree. You start with the most recent. This is a master's degree if you have a master's degree. Now, if the master's degree you have not yet gotten it, you are expecting it, what you now do is that you put in view. In view. When the recruiting officer sees in view, they are going to know that you have not yet gotten the degree. You are still you are still going for your master's, but you have not yet gotten it. Now this is the first degree. The first one, Mecca University, Chiba, Japan, BSc in International Relations. So after you are done with your educational details, you now come down to the employment details. The employment details, do not write a comprehension. Everything should be summarized using bullet points. You make it brief. You are not going to be writing an essay, and your CV is supposed to be on just one page, maximum 2 pages. So we have employment details, natural group, Tokyo, Japan. All these things are, this particular sample is in the book. You go through it diligently, carefully. Then advise, bullet point, you see it, advise the main shop's customer about organic and healthy food. You do what your employment details, just as we saw on how you package the chronological. This is a sample chronological CV, because it has what employment details here, and you also see skills here. So this person is showcasing what he actually achieved while working with this organization. See, they advise the main shop customer about organic and healthy foods, development of new businesses in smaller satellite stores, explaining the benefits of supplements and organic foods to potential new customers, then increase sales at both the main and satellite shops. So these are the achievements while being employed in this particular company, Natural Group Tokyo. Then after that, you now come down to other skills. Other skills, you can call it other skills / affiliations. Now under other skills, you see computer literate, good knowledge of Microsoft Word and Excel, as well as email and the internet. Fluent in the 3 main Nigerian languages, practical knowledge of English, exceptional analytical skills. Now, these are skills that companies actually want and need. Now, if you are fluent in the 3 main languages, you discover that it is an advantage over someone that doesn't understand any of the 3 main Nigerian languages, especially relating to banking jobs. Now, computer literacy is, as a matter of fact, important in almost all organizations in the 21st century. Now, having computer literacy skills is a big plus, and if you don't have that as an undergraduate or a graduate, I advise you go for a computer training class. Now, if that is noted, you have done all that, you now come down to the hobby section. The hobby section. The hobby is something you do outside your normal curriculum or job activities. Now, your hobby also tells a lot about your personality, whether you are an extrovert or an introvert. An extrovert is somebody that is outgoing, very, very sociable, while an introvert is like a hermit, a recluse, always like being on his own or her own. For some jobs, they need an extrovert. Some jobs, they need an introvert, whereas most jobs need a little bit of them. So what do you now do? Look at these hobbies now. These hobbies, we have the first one, playing chess and Scrabble. Then the second one, swimming and table tennis. What do you notice? The first one, playing chess and Scrabble. These are indoor activities. They are activities which is introvertish. Then you have swimming and table tennis, which are outdoor activities which are extrovertish. Now, what do you also notice? Playing chess and Scrabble are games that increases the intelligence. Like playing chess, you get to learn strategies. Do you understand? So you put creative games here. You do not put things like playing ludos, playing video games, or playing video games or playing snakes and ladder or draft. Playing video games especially, it reduces the intelligence. So you do not put those things there. It's of no benefit to the job in question. So you put only creative games there, playing chess, playing Scrabble, playing Monopoly, or these are creative games. Then the outdoor, you have swimming and table tennis. Place and place. Do not put cooking there unless it is a food environment, a food company. And in the name of God, please, I plead with you, on the CV, you should not put meeting people. Meeting people is what you do. It is not a hobby. Do you meet with goats and animals every day? Do you socialize with them? Of course not. So meeting people is not an hobby. It's something you do as a social person. So that's it for the hobby section. Then the final one, we now have the references section. Who is a reference? Who are your references? The references are person that can speak good, that can speak well on your behalf when the organizations call them up to ask about your person. Now, if you don't know someone very, very well, don't add the person as your reference. Your references should be persons that know you and you know them. Not when they call the person will not be saying, who is that? Who is that person? Who is Daniel? Daniel, you said he was my student, or I don't really know him. Automatically, your CV could get screened out. And please, do not use your father, do not use your mother, because if it's the same name, maybe your name, the person here now were to be Ahimie, Mary, most likely is a family member. Companies don't really cherish references like that. It should be person outside your immediate nuclear family, your immediate families, persons outside that can speak on your behalf. And please make sure that you add like at least 2 references. 3 is okay, 2 is okay. Not just 1 reference, at least 2 references. And do not put references upon requests. No, add 1 or 2 references, not references upon requests. On CVs you have references upon requests there, unless the company really needs you, they need your skill, you are a high stake professional, they might not have the time to start calling you for references. So this is how you package and tailor the 21st century CV. Now, if that is noted, what you now see on the screen is a cover letter. A cover letter is very, very important, whether for internship student, IT placement student, or those going for a job for graduates. You are always expected to write a cover letter or the letter of application, which goes hand in hand with the CV. Now, how do you now write the cover letter? It differs from what we were taught in school years back. Back then in school, during my time, and I've even seen some lecturers in this 21st century in school where we had seminars, and the lecturer was still teaching them those old formats. No, it is not proper. You don't want your cover letter to end up in the trash can. This is how you package the modern day cover letter. Just like the CV, you title it with your name. Now, remember in those olden days, the way we were taught, the way you are still being taught, you were told that there's a block format of writing the letter of application, and that there's the slanted format where you start with your address here, the company's address that you are applying for. You now put dear sir / madam, then you now write application for so and so. It is not so. You do not need to put application for. Now let's dissect this particular cover letter. Just as we explained earlier, you put your email address, a professional one. It must be very, very professional. Email address, your contact, your your contact entails both your email address and phone number. You see here, there's both the PO box and the house address. There's the landline, there's the mobile, GSM, everything is when they can reach to him using any of these means. Then you now have the dates. Then address it to a particular person in the establishment, not to whom it may concern, please. That is very, very wrong. All those cover letters bearing to whom it may concern often ends up in the trash can. So, for here, the area manager is Theophilus Osage. So you address it to a person, somebody in the firm. You can find out from their websites. So the area manager, Cosmos Chemicals Limited, so and so, you just follow it like that. Then when you now come here, still address it to the person, dear Mr. Osage, you now put a colon. Then here, do not put application for. No, the recruiting officer already knows it's an application. They are not foolish. It's not foolish. So you put ATTN colon. What's ATTN? Attention. Drawing his attention to this. So you now put the position, Chief Financial Officer position. So that is how you package and tailor your cover letter. Then you now come down. I have been encouraged by Jack Ahibe. This is called cover letter by name dropping. There are different kinds of cover letter which have been showcased in the follow-up material, the ebook that follows this material. That is actually the hard copy of our A to Z of job interview that we sell to corpus, sell in tertiary institution. You cannot find any of our books in bookshops. It is only during seminars and trainings that we sell our materials. So you are very, very fortunate to get it. Go through the material carefully alongside this video that you are watching right now. So area manager at Sharp Edge Telecom, Akure, Ondo, to contact you concerning, see, you dropped a name, and this person is the area manager there at Sharp Edge Telecom. So I know say, but as the company will be shifting base to South Africa in 6 months, intend changing jobs. A review of your company brochure tells me that I can be an asset to your company as my CV defeats my depicts my financial and auditing skills for the past 20 years. So go through it in the material. This is how you tailor the cover letter. Then you now come down. See, equally notable is my significant experience in corporate transactions. Make sure that all your T's are crossed, your punctuation marks are okay. Then in the tail end, you now put thank you for anticipated consideration, not thank you for consideration, because they have not yet considered you. Then you now sign up by saying yours faithfully, not yours sincerely. Yours sincerely is not wrong, but you only use yours sincerely when you are applying in American firms. European, English firms, and we are colonized by the British, you use yours faithfully. Then you now put your signature here. Then also Idemudia words Arnold N separated by a comma. Now there is something I have to mention that is very, very, very important that most multinational firms they do, and even myself, I do it a lot. Now, when we pick up your CV or your cover letter and we have gone through everything, perhaps it is okay, we now take the extra pain to know you more. What do you think organizations now do? They go and search for you on social media. They go to your Facebook, they go to your Instagram, they go to your Twitter. They want to find out more about you. How do they do that? How can they locate you? They use your email address. They use your phone number to search for you on social media. If they don't see you, they might call on you and ask for your social media handles, and they now call upon you. Oftentimes, it has always been easy for me to locate job candidates on social media. Now, when we go to your social media, aside your timeline, we don't spend much time there. Where do you think we go to? We go straight to your picture albums, because it tells a lot about your personality. Then we now view all your pictures. Now, if you have pictures where you are like dressed naked, or a young man, you are drinking like 2 bottles of alcohol with half naked women around you, you are not telling good about your personality. Most friends wouldn't want an individual like that. So make sure you have a professional social media profile. For Facebook, put on responsible pictures there. If you have a Facebook account that doesn't tell good about you, you can open a new one. You understand? You can open a new one that will be used for career opportunities, because it could deny you opportunities, job opportunities, when you have bad profile, especially with your pictures, half naked pictures, terrifying pictures that don't speak good of you. So go snap, take good snapshot, put on suit, put on casuals, be in good environment, not pictures where you are smoking shisha or taking aim or romanticizing on social medias. No, it doesn't tell good about you, and companies take note of this very, very, very well. So we are going to stop here this training for now. We have exceeded 30 minutes, and when we come back, we are going to be looking at the difference between the CV and the resume. Very, very important. Thank you.